Hi, I'm Amy Lewis with NetApp SolidFire here for another edition of Pop-Up Tech Talks. I'm here with Kurt. Kurt, can you introduce yourself?
I'm Kurt Collins. I work with a company called Built.io. I run developer evangelism and partnerships for the company.
Awesome. So we're here at Cisco Live, and we were just talking about the transition from hardware to software. So big question, but what are some of the trends? What are you seeing?
The interesting thing right now is that Cisco kind of announced this evolution to the cloud less than a year ago at this point in time, and one of their first initiatives was to launch Cisco Spark with an API platform, right? And Cisco's had APIs before, but this was supposed to be a major transition for them, and so this is what their whole Cisco collaboration platform is based off of. Now, Cisco has a huge partner ecosystem. We are a Cisco partner, a couple others out. In fact, everybody here at Cisco Live, pretty much a Cisco partner. The thing that I've found interesting over the past several months is that a majority of them are all hardware people, right? Which makes sense given Cisco's background. The problem is that when Cisco said, "Hey, it's time to move to the cloud," most of them didn't have developers. So one of the things that's going to be really interesting about this, and Cisco's handling it really well at this point in time, but one of the things that's going to be really interesting about this is, how does a Cisco partner truly transition to continuing to be a Cisco partner in the new ecosystem that Cisco's trying to build?
And Cisco's always been very strong on certifications and sort of personal development and education. What are you seeing in terms of opportunities for people to pivot their career or hire appropriately? What are some of the things you're seeing?
And so, I mean, that's part of the reason why I said I think Cisco's doing really well with managing the transition. They already have a significant amount of learning material up on how to do integrations with Cisco Spark and a lot of the other API-driven things that are out there. They are putting up some certifications and so on and so forth. Cisco DevNet is doing some incredible stuff. Just from a learning perspective, you can go there, you can learn Python, everything from Python to integrating Cisco APIs into your workflow, right? So I think Cisco is going to start empowering a huge ecosystem of learning, which will then help everybody advance their careers even more. And I think the hardware side of Cisco, if you come from that background, I think it's going to be a really good place to be, because you'll have all this institutional knowledge that those of us who are new don't. Right? I'm speaking as a new Cisco partner. I'm learning all these new things about call center and collab, and my brain is going crazy right now. But I don't have that institutional knowledge, and so trying to get caught up on that's actually really tough. If you come with that institutional knowledge and all you have to do is learn a little bit of coding here and there, I actually think you're going to be in a pretty good place.
I love that, because so often you hear these sort of threatening things of if you don't, code or die, if you don't learn. But I love that hearing from a software person that there is great value in sort of that. I love how you put it, that institutional knowledge and learning the other language, learning the language the other way is okay.
Yeah, it totally is, and I think I think the good thing that Cisco is doing here is they give you all the resources to learn at kind of the level that you want to. If you want to do hardcore coding, they give you the opportunity to do that. If you want to utilize some of the tools that they have partnerships in place with to make things drag and drop, they have that too. So you can come in and interact with Cisco Collab and a lot of these other communities inside Cisco in kind of any way that you want to. If you just want to get your feet wet a little bit, they have stuff for that. If you want to dive all the way into the deep end of the pool, they have stuff for that too.
So what are some of your favorite resources for any of our listeners?
Honestly, my favorite resource at this point in time is DevNet, but that's because I come from a developer background, so if I don't see code flashing across the screen, then I think something's wrong. So DevNet is actually, it's probably one of the most comprehensive developer community resources I've ever seen. And that can be frightening, I will tell you that. But they've set up things like a sandbox where you can go ahead and play around with their toolkits. They've set up machines, VMs, where you can just spin them up. You can reserve them, or you can spin them up on demand, and you can do all kinds of testing with IoT devices that Cisco has and all these other things. And like I said, even I'm a little bit overwhelmed by it, because I still have to understand how is it that their software-defined networking with with their Avaya networks and stuff like that ties into Cisco Collab. I'm trying to figure all that stuff out now, but DevNet's actually been like my absolute favorite resource for that. Everything, all roads lead back to that for me.
Well, speaking of all roads, my last question, we've got the Pokemon craze, kind of wild and crazy right now. Do you think that virtual reality, and do you think this is the IoT is here and here firmly now?
So several years ago, I actually worked on a project where we were trying to build an augmented reality zombie apocalypse game. So it was amazing for all of the 10 people that got on it. I think it's fascinating that this is that Pokemon is the thing that does it. My concern for it is, look at all the information they're collecting on you right now. They are collecting your location. If you sign in with a Gmail account, they actually just are about to release a patch for this, but they ask for permissions to get every one of your emails just to play Pokemon Go. The patch is coming out. So, I mean, I would say that I love the concept of Pokemon Go. I think it can actually finally get lazy slobs like me off the couch. So I think that's a good thing. I think we need to be very careful about how we roll it out, though.
No, I love it. I feel like it's like this divider in the sand. We're now the ones saying, get off our lawns, kids.
I am that guy. I'm the Dennis the Menace, like the neighbor who says, no, this isn't right.
Thank you so much, Kurt.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next time on Pop-Up Tech Talks.